Elon Musk. You know the name, you've definitely seen the headlines, and chances are you've got a pretty strong opinion about him. But behind all the noise, behind all these world-changing companies, is there a single unifying vision? Well, today, we're going to piece together the master plan of the man who is, quite literally, building the future.
So let's just dive right in with a question that Musk himself once asked a biographer. After a really long dinner, he just looked at him and said, "Do you think I'm insane?" It's a heck of a question, right? And it really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today. Is all this the work of a madman, or is there a deep, profound logic driving these unbelievable ambitions?
You see, his companies, Tesla, SpaceX, SolarCity, they're not just a bunch of separate businesses. They're actually more like pieces of a giant puzzle. And in this explainer, we're going to put those pieces together and hopefully reveal one single, absolutely grand mission.
To really understand the future he's trying to build, we have to go back, way back, to the beginning. Because his entire worldview, this whole master plan, it was all forged in the really unique circumstances of his early life.
Musk was clearly sharp from the get-go. I mean, at just 12 years old, he was already designing and publishing the code for his own video game. But what's really telling is his drive, this relentless push to leave his home country, a drive so strong he just up and did it on his own at only 17.
Now, what's fascinating is the clash between who he was and where he grew up. He was in this culture that was all about being a tough jock, but he was this quiet, nerdy kid who literally read the entire encyclopedia. You know, that feeling of being an outsider, that's what fueled his dream of escaping to America, a place where his massive ideas might actually have a chance to work.
And maybe because of that background, his brain works differently. Musk himself describes it as having something like a graphics chip. He can visualize complex machines and physics problems in his head with the detail of an engineering drawing. And that's not just some weird quirk. It's the core tool he uses to solve these monumental problems in hardware-first industries, like cars and rockets, places most software guys wouldn't even dream of touching.
So what does a guy like that do after he makes his first fortune in the dot-com boom? He doesn't just buy an island and retire. Nope. Instead, he took on 3 goals that seemed completely impossible in 3 of the world's biggest and toughest industries.
I mean, think about it. Each one of these on its own is just ridiculously audacious. Revolutionize space travel, upend the entire auto industry, transform global energy. Trying to do all 3 at the same time, it sounds, well, a little insane, right?
So this brings us to the million-dollar question. What's the connection? Why these 3 specific things? I mean, on the surface, they seem to have absolutely nothing to do with each other, but they do.
Okay, here it is. This is the key that unlocks the entire puzzle. It's what people on the inside call Musk's unified field theory. It's the core idea that all this work, all these companies, are really just part of one single cohesive mission for all of humanity. You know, there's this perfect illustration of it at his SpaceX headquarters. On the wall, there are 2 pictures of Mars hanging right next to each other. The first one shows the cold, barren red planet as it is today, but the second one, it shows a terraformed Mars, green and blue, with oceans, teeming with life. That difference? That is the ultimate goal.
It all comes together in a surprisingly simple 2-step plan. Step 1. Use Tesla and SolarCity to solve our sustainable energy problem here on Earth and preserve our home planet. Then, Step 2. Use SpaceX to create what he calls a life insurance policy for humanity by making us a multiplanetary species. It's a plan to save this world and then build a new one, just in case.
In this, right here, is his core motivation. It's not really about the cars or the rockets. It's about ensuring the long-term survival of human consciousness. He just wants to know that no matter what happens here on Earth, humanity as a whole has a future.
But, and this is a really big but, a vision that grand doesn't come easy. It comes at an absolutely immense personal and professional cost. To really understand the man, you have to understand the price he was willing to pay.
Let's zoom in on one year in particular that shows this perfectly, 2008. This was the year when the entire grand plan was just teetering on the brink of total catastrophic collapse.
For Musk, it was an absolute perfect storm of failure. SpaceX's 3rd rocket in a row had just blown up. Tesla was literally weeks away from going bankrupt. On top of that, he was going through a messy, very public divorce, and the entire global economy was just in absolute freefall. Everything was failing, all at once.
And listen, this isn't just us looking back and saying it was bad. This is what Musk himself said about that time. He was totally convinced it was over.
He genuinely believed his entire life's work was about to go up in smoke.
Musk often uses this metaphor to describe what his journey is really like. It's not just hard work. He says it's like eating glass, enduring constant, sharp pain, while staring into the abyss of total failure. And that crisis in 2008, that wasn't a one-time thing. It was a taste of the constant state of pressure it takes to bend 3 massive industries to your will.
So going through that absolute hell and coming back wasn't the end of the struggle. In a lot of ways, it just defined the new normal. And it leaves us with a really provocative question. We see this unified plan to secure humanity's future, an idea of breathtaking scope, but we've also seen the brutal, soul-crushing cost of that ambition. So is this what it takes? Is this constant extreme sacrifice the unavoidable price for building a truly fantastic future? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. If you enjoy piecing together the big picture behind the headlines, be sure to follow our channel for more.